Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Century Textiles and Industries Limited Q1 FY22 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touch-tone phone. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anuj Sonpal, CEO, Valorem Advisors. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, and a warm welcome to you all. My name is Anuj Sonpal from Valorem Advisors. We represent the investor relations of Century Textiles and Industries Limited. On behalf of the company, I would like to thank you all for participating in the company's earnings conference call for the first quarter of financial year 2022. Before we begin, as mandatory, I would like to mention a short cautionary statement. Some of the statements made in today's earnings conference call may be forward-looking in nature. Such forward-looking statements are subject to risks and uncertainties which could cause actual results to differ from those anticipated. Such statements are based on management's beliefs as well as assumptions made by and information currently available to management. This is a caution not to place any undue reliance on these forward-looking statements in making any investment decisions. The purpose of today's earnings conference call is purely to educate and bring awareness about the company's fundamental business and financial quarter under review. Now let me introduce you to the management participating with us in today's earnings call. We have with us Mr. J.C. Ladda, Managing Director, Mr. R.K. Dalmia, Senior President, Century Textiles and Whole-Time Director, A.P. Narayan, CEO of Century Pulp and Paper, Mr. K.T. Jitendran, CEO of Birla Estates, and Mr. Snehal Shah, Chief Financial Officer, and Mr. Nilay Rathi, Senior Vice President of Commercials. Now, without any further delay, I request Mr. Ladda to start with his opening remarks. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anuj. A very good afternoon to everyone joining us today, and it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the earnings conference call for the first quarter of FY22. Firstly, I hope that you and your family members are healthy and keeping safe in this pandemic environment. At the outset, I'm happy to inform that the overall performance all across has been very good for quarter 1 of FY22. Turnover as well as EBITDA are highest in the last 6 quarters, which basically covers the beginning of the COVID-19 first wave. And despite the impact of second wave, the most part of the first quarter of FY22, we could insulate our company's performance. Let me first take you through the financial performance of our company on a consolidated basis for the first quarter of FY22. The net sales for the quarter was rupees 832 crores, which grew by 111% year-on-year and were flattish quarter-on-quarter. EBITDA for the quarter was rupees 100 crores, which grew by 289% YOY and 46% Q-on-Q, resembling an EBITDA margin of 14.1% for the quarter. The net profit for the quarter stood at 25 crores, which has been a major reversal on YOY and QOQ basis. Overall, this quarter we saw a healthy turnaround in financial performance, especially in the paper and textile businesses driven by high operating efficiencies despite second wave of COVID-19. Our highest focus during the quarter was to ensure the safety of our employees, for which we vaccinated 78% of our regular employees with first dose by June end. As we speak today, we have almost covered 100%. Company remains dedicated to work towards the benefit of the society. Under the ESG, which is Environment, Social and Governance framework, company has undertaken numerous initiatives during the quarter. On environment front, initiated a program in association with Forest Department Nainital on collection of fallen pine tree leaves in Uttarakhand. This will help to avoid forest wildfires and provide employment to 5,000 locals. On social front, a check dam has been built at Adivali village near Kalyan, Maharashtra by Birla Estates in collaboration with Rotary Foundation, thereby directly benefiting 3,500 nearby villagers with water for their crops and for their personal use. Secondly, as earlier quoted, company remains focused on safety of its employees and thus organized several vaccination camps at the factories and offices which helped vaccinate 78% of its employees with first dose by the end of the quarter. Further, continued distributing face masks and sanitizers in nearby school and villages and hospitals has been our priority. Lastly, company is fully committed to governance with robust compliances in place for its regulatory requirements. Now let me take you through some of the key highlights across our three business verticals. Starting with the real estate division, talking about the financial performance during the first quarter, revenues were reported at 34 crores with EBITDA at 6 crores. The early part of quarter 1 FY22 saw the country gripped by the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Sales and construction activities were impacted again due to the second lockdown. Site operations had slowed down slightly due to labor unavailability. However, by June, availability of labor improved. The sector showed great resilience in weathering the disturbances. The government gave the sector a boost with the passing of the Model Tenancy Act, which is expected to lure investors back in the market. The RBI has also maintained its accommodative stance by keeping repo rate and reverse repo rate at status quo, which has enabled the continuation of the low mortgage interest rate regime for home buyers. The strong demand fundamentals and increased pace of vaccinations is expected to drive the recovery of the sector. Our sales for the quarter was rupees 45 crores at our already launched projects of Birla Alokya Bengaluru and Birla Navya Gurugram, while we made considerable improvement in collections all across during quarter 1 of FY22 on the back of strong customer connect and customer outreach. We received commencement certificate and RERA approval for the second phase of Birla Vanya Kalyan, post which we have initiated market bombing and launch preparations for the same. Our two commercial assets, Birla Aurora and Birla Centurion, continue to generate stable rentals. Our primary focus has been to ensure a safe environment for all the stakeholders at our property. Talking about our projects yet to be launched, the approval process for the first phase at Century Mills Worli and Magadi Road project Bengaluru is on track as per plan. We launched our digital self-service channels on WhatsApp and a dedicated customer app to enable swift resolution of customer queries. Customer Connect initiatives promoting health and wellness were undertaken along with proactive construction updates for the customers of Birla Vanya and Birla Alokya to not only remain connected but also meaningfully interact with them. The economic activity is expected to gain momentum over the coming quarters, led by favorable monetary conditions, abundant liquidity, and optimism from the vaccine rollout. The trust in the Birla brand and our product will hold us in good stead as we build up on our growth story over the coming quarters. Moving on to the pulp and paper segment, for the first quarter of financial year 22, the sales from this segment stood at rupees 577 crores. EBITDA for this segment improved to rupees 96 crores from rupees 28 crores YOY, reflecting an EBITDA margin of 16.6%. Sales volumes grew by 83% year-on-year in quarter 1 of FY22, however, were down 9% Q-on-Q. The capacity utilization during the quarter was 94%. In the first quarter, average realization prices have improved due to multiple price increases in board and tissue segment compared to quarter 4 of FY21. Our average price realization improved by 12%. The demand for writing and printing paper was impacted during April and May due to imposition of countrywide lockdown. However, It started recovering from June onwards. While demand for tissue paper was healthy, as the second wave helped in increasing awareness, and also there was good order flow in paper board segment from pharma, FMCG and food packaging sectors. Due to closure of major paper consumption centers and in anticipation of third wave, order flows in writing and printing paper are expected to be volatile in the domestic market in the near term. However, the demand for tissues and board segment is expected to remain healthy. Finally, to update you on the new tissue plant which was commissioned in the month of March 21, but due to COVID-19 lockdowns, the project got delayed by about 7 months. Currently, the trial production is in progress, and we are hopeful of starting commercial production very soon, as well as achieving full capacity utilization by Q2 FY22. This will help in driving good sales growth in coming quarters. Now let us move on to the textile division. I would like to request Mr. R.K. Dalmia, who is the Senior President of Century Textiles and whole-time Director of the company, to give the key performance highlights. Over to you, Mr. Dalmia.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome you all to this earnings conference call. Talking about the financial performance for the quarter under review, sales of the textile segment stood at 205 crores and EBITDA was rupees 2 crores. Our plant was operating at around 80% capacity utilization. This capacity utilization is low because of this second wave of COVID and lockdown in the retail market. The demand for home textiles remained good in the export market, but margins were under pressure due to finished good prices. Being price sensitive, could not absorb the increase in raw material prices. The apparel fabric segment remained uncertain as demand from retail segment needs to come back to normal. Because of the same, the realization continued to be under pressure. However, August to December 21 is a crucial time because of festive season, and we expect the market to be stable in months to come. Finally, I am happy to inform that Birla Century bagged the National Energy Management Award in textile category, presently virtually at event held on 26 June 21. This award is given to companies who have contributed substantially towards energy savings and management. Now I hand over the call back to. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Mr. Dalmia. To conclude, as the vaccination drive accelerates, we are hopeful of our continued performance. With that, we can now open the floor for the question and answer session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin with the question and answer session. Anyone wishing to ask a question may please press star and 1 on your touch-tone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is on the line of Vidhi Dedia from Redan Securities. Please go ahead.
Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Good evening, gentlemen. My question is for KT sir. So now, what are the pending approvals for our Worli project, and what is the company's expectation for the soft launch? Thank you.
Good evening, and thanks for this question. So, we have got the IOD. We have certain, important approvals like the environmental clearance, which is still expected, and after that, of course, the commencement certificate, followed by RERA. So once we get all this in place, then we would be ready for the launch. So we expect the launch to happen even either at the latter part of Q3 or early part of Q4.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. That is on the line of Hitesh Doshi from Hitesh Doshi Company. Please go ahead.
Good evening to all of you, and congrats on getting the IOD approval for Worli project. Sir, KT sir, how much square feet now we have got IOD approval now? So with this approval, how much square feet we can build over next 2-3 years in terms of carpet area? And second thing, can we have a timeline for other projects like Kalyan phase 2, how much square feet and what we envisage right now, and the Magadi Road project? So what can be the time launch for next 3-4 projects, and what can be the square feet what we can launch? Thank you.
Hitesh, as far as Worli is concerned, this first NOC of the IOD we have got is for 2 towers, so it's roughly about 14-15 lakh square feet of saleable area.
Sir, can you speak louder? We can't hear you.
Am I audible? Is it better? Not clear?
Not. Can be little better if I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know how I can do it better.
No, fine then. It's okay.
Loud.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So, Hitesh bhai, this we have got the initial NOC for 2 towers, phase 1, but that's roughly about 15 lakh square feet.
Oh wow.
For the other projects which you mentioned,
This 15 lakh is IOD, right? IOD for 15 lakh square feet in Worli, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, this 2 towers and this 15 lakh is sellable or carpet?
Saleable.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So beyond that, as far as Vanya is concerned, we have got all approvals for phase 2. RERA, we are just sort of warming the market, thinking of the right time to launch it. So either we may launch it in the latter part of this quarter or early next quarter.
Okay, right.
As far as Magadi is concerned, we are in the final leg of approval. Once we get that, we'll apply for RERA, and after RERA, I think hopefully in the first part of Q3 we should be able to launch it.
Okay, first part of Q3 only, so it will be earlier than Worli and Kalyan, hopefully.
Yeah,
Kalyan would be how much square feet, sir? Phase 2, how much square feet we'll get approval and how much we'll launch?
So we should be about 3.5 lakh square feet.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you and wish you all the best for the team Century.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. That is from the line of Venkat Samala from Tata AMC. Please go ahead.
Hi sir, thanks for the opportunity. KT sir, if you could just give some color on the projects added or the projects in the pipeline.
Thank you, Venkat, for the question. As you know, it's not unless we finalize the project, it's not possible to actually talk about it.
Right.
All I can say is that we are now in the market talking to several landowners. We are in the process of discussing many proposals. But as you know, we have really started it a couple of quarters back. Really
right.
Picking up momentum. So it's going to take a little while. So maybe by Q3 we should be able to close some of this. But we are in all markets, all the 4 chosen markets. We are aggressively, pursuing the right sort of deals. Once we finalize, we'll be able to, talk about it.
Right. And we expect to hear on this by Q3, is it? I mean, later.
Yes, some of them in Q3, some of them in Q4.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sir, the other thing I just wanted to understand is the guidance that you had given last time. FY22, I think 1,500 and FY23, 2,500 sales. Is that still on?
I said around sort of guidance of this year about 1,500 plus.
Right.
Of course, this pandemic has kind of dented that a little bit.
Right.
In sense, our initial launches which were planned for Q1 has now got delayed. We would
Right.
like to launch Kalyan and Magadi Road in Q1. Obviously, those things have not got delayed because of the lockdown. However,
Right.
largely, we are still hopeful, if there are no further setbacks, that we should be largely be able to meet those targets before the turn of this financial year.
Right. So as investors, I mean, we can still look up to those numbers, right? It should be close to that.
We should be close to that, yeah. Provided better, say a condition now, things smoothen out from now.
Right. But are you seeing the momentum there? I mean, with respect to...
Momentum is already picking up because
Right.
almost nothing happened in April and May, but June things picked up. July is even better. So
Right.
it's definitely picking up.
Understood. Right. And my last question is to Snehal sir. I mean, the debt has gone up QOQ, right? So if you could give some color as to what it has. I mean, what's the rise? What's the reason for the increase? And if at all you can give any guidance as to what the net debt at the end of FY22 could look like.
Yeah, Venkat, good evening. So yes, primarily the debt has gone up for the spend that we did for getting our premiums payment to the BMC for the Worli project. So
Right.
that is the major spend of, roughly around 275 crores, etc. So
Right.
that is one of the major reasons why the debt has gone up.
Right.
In terms of guidance, I can broadly give you, on the projects, real estate is expected to spend around 1,200 crores this year.
Right.
And the net cash requirement after considering collections, etc., would be around 1,100 crores.
Right.
And we expect around 200 crores to come from our other businesses, the free cash flows.
Right.
And therefore, there will be a 900 crore deficit, which we will be borrowing. And considering our debt, starting debt of 1,000 crores, we should be close to around 2,000 crores by the end of this year, which would roughly give us an EBITDA level of 4.
Okay.
Is
Sure.
that helpful?
Yeah. So then net collections that we are expecting for the resi business would be around 100 crores, right? I mean, for this.
Yeah, there is no collections would be more, but then there is a corporate overhead cost of the business, etc., and all that. So
Right.
net we would be around 1,100.
So what is the expectation, sir? I mean, with respect to collection?
With respect to collections, I think roughly around, I would say, close to around 300 crores.
300 crores, right? Okay. Sure, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all participants in this conference, we request you to limit your questions to 2 per participant only. The next question is on the line of Amit Srivastava from B&K Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. So my question is related to paper business basically. Sir, we have seen that our paper realization has improved sharply over quarter on quarter, and we are operating at around 94% of utilization also. But still at the same level, our margins are not improving. Like it has improved, but still we are far away from our peak margins. So if you can give a broader idea how the roadmap would be on margin side and as well as the demand side, how we are looking at.
JP, you can go ahead, please.
Yes. Yes. Hi, Amit. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, you rightly said that in the earlier pre-COVID, the margin was in the range of 22 to 23%. And the pre-COVID, the major driver of driving the margin was writing printing paper. Because it was giving a good contribution and the EBITDA was in the range of somewhere around 24 to 25%. Whereas in tissue and packaging board, EBITDA was in the range of 18 to 21%. So during pandemic, the only segment which is badly affected, that is writing printing paper. And the margin as well as the prices, the revenue realization has come down sharply in that segment. Whereas tissue as well as the packaging has already achieved their pre-COVID level. So I'm sure once this school, colleges and the offices will start working, the writing printing as well as the copier segment will bounce back and the EBITDA margin will be there as the pre-COVID level.
Okay. And in terms of demand, sir, how is the improvement? Like you have mentioned that the June has improved, but it is continuing in July. And how is the writing and printing segment is doing?
See, as schools are opening, we are anticipating that it should start moving now. Especially writing printing. Other two variants are doing good. Tissue and packaging, the order book is good.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, sir. Sir, my next question is on a textile side. We have done a JV with Grasim on a Birla Advanced Knit. So just wanted to understand that why there was a JV with Grasim. What is the kind of synergy? What kind of investment and project scope of that JV would be? If you can give broad idea.
This JV is of the 50% JV. It is for the knit manufacturing, and the primary raw material will be modal, excel, viscose fiber, which are produced by Grasim. So we will promote this fiber and we will use in the knit with the excellent quality and to benchmark this product to develop it in the market and to reduce the import from the China of these products. And the investment is around 200 crores rupees in this project.
And what kind of revenue potential we will have around 2-3 years time, sir?
Revenue potential is around 400 to 500 crores rupees in a year.
Okay. With the investment of 200 crore rupees.
Yes.
Amit, but 200 crores is not the investment by the company.
Okay.
So most of it will be a borrowing. So roughly we are expecting just about 10 to 20. Nilay, how much is the amount that we will be investing?
20 lakhs.
So like 20 crore, both the entities will be investing, Grasim as well as Century. Balance we will take a loan from the bank, tough loan.
Okay. Okay, got it, sir. Thank you very much. That's it from.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next question. That is on the line of Nitin from KIFS Trade Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for taking the question. I just wish to know this project expected time frame for booking the potential revenue which has been reflected in one of the slides. So especially Birla Navya and Century. Is it beyond 5 years or?
Sorry, Nitin, what's the question? I didn't clearly get it.
Okay.
What is the
No, Century and Birla Navya, that's Gurugram project. How revenue potential will be realized within how many years?
Okay. So yeah, so this the low rise phase, which has a potential of about 2,400 crores or 2,200 crores, so that should be realized in a period of about 4 to 5 years.
That's Birla Navya, right?
That's correct.
And that includes the group housing 2,150 crores?
Housing is another 2,000 crores, which once we get the license and started, that will take, entire group housing will take about another 5 years. But it won't be 5 plus 5. It may be like whenever we start it, maybe in a year or so, somewhere about 5 years.
Maybe on a rollover basis, maximum 6.
Yeah, overall we'd expected about 7 years for the duration of the project. But the only thing is that because of this COVID, governments and departments not working, there has been a delay in the group housing license. So when it hasn't come yet, whenever it comes, it will take about 5 years from there.
Okay, and with IOD in hand of Worli project, how much time will it take?
For launch?
For residential, yeah, no, launch anyway is happening September, October as per last time you had cited.
Q3, Q4, yeah, either in part of December or Jan.
Right.
Provided we get the balance approval in time, we are waiting for someone for more approvals. But the key, IOD is in hand. As far as construction is concerned, these are tall towers, so I expect about 5 years for each tower.
Right.
Construction timeline is about 5 years.
Okay. And what about commercial lease? That includes that time frame?
No, so commercial we are not started. So whenever we start commercial, that will take close to 1 million square feet. So that will take about 4 years. After that, a couple of years to lease it, and then only the monetization will happen. So that will wait for the opportune time to start that. So maybe take another
commercial. So for commercial, we'll keep spending money for 4 years, and leasing only will happen, and that will happen post 6 years from the time of construction starts, right?
Yeah. So that's how commercial is done. So that's the sort of gestation period is much longer. So we will wait for our money to come in from the cash flow to come in from the residential sales, and then we will sort of put it there.
Right. So there will be lead-like relationship of approximately 6 to 8 quarters between residential and commercial to start the activities, right?
Yeah. At least. Yeah.
Okay. And thanks. I'll come back.
Thank you, Nitin.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone wishing to ask a question, may please press star and 1. Participants in the conference, if you wish to ask a question, you may please press star and 1. The next question is on the line of Ravi Kumar, an independent investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, actually, thanks for the opportunity. Actually, I would like to know the company-owned land bank, like, from the old legacy Century Textile mills and, other things pertaining to that. And, I know that, there was some land dispute with Bombay Dyeing or, some 10 acres land. What is the status on it?
Thank you, Ravi. So the company has land banks, as you mentioned, in Worli, which is the textile mill is there, which is about 40 acres. 10 acres is in dispute, so balance is 30 acres, which is the focus of development now. The 10 acres, of course, as you mentioned, is in court, and it will take a while for that there is a dispute to be resolved. Yeah, so that's in abeyance. Apart from that, there is some part of small, but couple of acres of land in Prabhadevi. We have Kalyan, of course, you said 22 acres under development. There are more parcels in Kalyan, which is not at this point of time not right for development. So we are exploring different options on that, how else can be monetized and to unlock the value of that. Apart from that, we have about 45 acres in Talegaon in Pune, close to Pune. So whenever is the right time for development of that location, we will consider development of that.
Okay.
Lastly,
Yes, sir. Yeah. Please go ahead. Like you're saying.
So lastly, Century Textiles, these are the land parcels which is currently available for.
But with the land rich, I mean, with having a lot of land bank, when are you targeting to get this company, debt free, completely debt free and positive cash flows?
That will take at least about 3 to 4, 5 years maybe. Once Worli cash flow is in full swing, Worli launches gets fully going. So that point in time, we may we'll become debt free. I mean, become surplus cash. The point is that even if it is surplus, we will continue to invest into projects. So construction finance debt will continue to happen, as we will not stop investing. As soon as this cash flow comes, we'll be investing in land buying or doing JDAs.
I know that, sir. Why I'm asking is, when in comparing with listed players like you and Godrej, I see some local players are doing with full cash, with cash rich and very positive cash flows. So they seems to be more profitable. At least I am from Hyderabad. I'm witnessing that. So I'm really wondering about the listed players. So, and to conclude that, my final question, like on our average, how the margins are there, like from cost to margin? I know it varies from market to market and season to season, but to benchmark on an average.
All our projects, we are at the moment marking at least 30% EBITDA margins in all our projects.
Okay.
Yeah, we are comfortable.
But that varies from JVs to own land bank, right?
All of them, yeah.
Okay. You are saying that aggregation.
Sorry?
No, are you saying about the aggregated thing between what we are going with the JV versus what is with our own land bank?
Our own land bank is slightly more than that. It is slightly higher than 30%, yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Participants, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all participants in this conference, we request you to limit your questions to 2 per participant only. The next question is on the line of Nishit Shah from Equitas Investments. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I wanted to focus on paper segment and ask you questions. So, for the July month, was there any increase in realization for writing and printing and packaging segment?
Good evening, Mr. Shah. Yes, in packaging there will be little bit, but in writing and printing we are not anticipating that.
Okay. Sir, how much, can you please quantify how much will it be for packaging?
It will be in the range of somewhere around 1 to 2%.
Okay. And sir, I wanted to understand, do we have any capex plan now going forward once our tissue plant is done?
We have got a minor capex. We are extending our writing printing capacity with certain modifications. So we have got some 65 crore rupees capex for that, but not a major one. And we are investing in other areas like recovery and other areas. So we have got a capex there also.
Yes. And sir, lastly, what would be the international pulp prices trading right now?
It's trending between $720 to $740 for hardwood and $750 to $780 for softwood.
So earlier it was $980 around, right?
Softwood was in the range of $850 to $880, and hardwood was in the range of $780 to $800.
Okay, got it, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The next question is on the line of Vasudev Hajrajani, an investor. Please go ahead.
Hi. I just wanted to know regarding the Prabhadevi land, what is the area we have and when are we planning to develop that? And secondly, in respect of the rentals of the 2 buildings we have, is there any, are we getting the full rentals or is there any deduction in rentals from the 2 buildings we have in the Century land, in the buildings, 2 buildings?
Hi, Vasudev. So,
Hi.
First part of the question on the Prabhadevi land, yeah. So right now we are focusing on Worli, the Century Textile land. This is not too far from the Prabhadevi location.
Right.
So we are in no hurry to launch that. Of course, in due course of time we will be launching it. It's a very premium land. So maybe we may take a little more time, once Worli is sort of stabilized, we may look at that. Of course, there is a CRZ because being right on the beach, so the CRZ rule allows it to develop it, but that rule has not yet become a statute. So we are waiting for that. Also, that's one more reason. The primary reason is that large size inventory, there is plenty of supply. So we will wait for the right timing. It may be 2 years from now, 3 years from now. We will have to choose.
How big is that land?
It's a couple of acres.
Couple meaning 2-3 acres or more?
2
acres. Yeah. Okay. And why are we not looking at developing this land? Because if it can be developed, I mean there are a lot of properties which are in that same area, which is going for about almost 100 crores of flat and all in that, I believe that A25 or F25, that, the new building which has come up. So, I mean, each flat is going there for 80, 100 crores, So why are we not looking at developing this?
No, we will be developing. We have to choose the time. We'll choose the right time. As you mentioned, there are so many other projects which have plenty of supply is there. Number one. Number two, as I also mentioned that, we are waiting for the final CRZ clearance statute to come. Because unless it comes, there will be restriction on FSI utilization.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And what about the rentals? In regard to the rentals, are we receiving the full rentals?
Yeah, we are getting the full rentals. So there has been a few tenants who had reduced their occupancy. For example, Vodafone which was initially having 5 floors, now reduced to 3 floors. They vacated. There have been currently the vacancy is close to about 90%. Average rentals are in the region of for Birla Centurion is in the region of about $170. Birla Aurora is in the range of about 190 rupees per square foot. We have added about 70,000 square feet of new tenants in the last 6 to 8 months. There are a few more spaces to be rented out, about 60,000 square feet. The only thing is that whenever there is a renewal of rentals, considering the current state of the market, we are not getting the premiums and extra premiums. We have to forego that. But otherwise, it's quite stable.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nitin from KIFS Trade Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks for taking my question.
Sorry to interrupt, Nitin. We are not able to hear you.
Hello. Is it clear?
So you're sounding very soft.
Sorry. I can't have. Maybe I'll come back.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone wishing to ask a question may please press star and 1. Participants on the conference, if you wish to ask a question, you may please press star and 1. A reminder to the participants, anyone wishing to ask a question may please press star and 1. We take the next question from the line of Ravi Kumar, an independent investor. Please go ahead.
Right, thank you. And my other question is the total debt. Right now we have about 1,100 crores, right? And this is all, because Century real estate, the Century Estates. Is the debt on those books, or it is there on, as a pulp and textile business as well?
Mr. Ravi Kumar, most of it is related to real estate. There is hardly any debt. Most of the debt for our manufacturing business is more on the working capital side. But on the long-term debt, most of it is for the real estate business. And now our debt is around 1,350 crores as of June end. You mentioned something 1,100. I think probably you're referring to the beginning of the year, I guess.
Yeah, maybe sometime, yeah. And the other question is, sir, is there any capex plan for textile business? Because right now, India is getting opportunity with China Plus One policy, as well as, from the government push. I know one point of time we were into ready-mades also, but that got shut down, right?
Right.
So,
Dalmia, you want to take that question?
You take it, Ismail.
So right now we seriously don't have some major plans other than, as we said, one is that joint venture that we have signed up with Grasim, so we'll be investing around 10 crores over there. Then there would be a general repairs and maintenance and maybe some environment related costs that we might be incurred. But there are no major plans of major capex in the textile business as of today.
So, sir, I just wanted to add, I have been with Century Textiles since very long time, I think since 12 years or so. Even, that time I used to go and buy Century, my clothing from Cotton's by Century. But somewhere, the quality of the thing was not up to that, the kind of brand name which Century used to have in the marketplace. So I knew that time it's not going to sustain. It happened the same thing. This is a feedback to the as a group, sir. The Century brand name carries a lot of legacy. But somewhere, I'm seeing that a kind of less focus from the top management.
Mr. Ravi Kumar, I'm not sure how you got that feedback. I'm sure Mr. Dalmia would like to add, but I must say that
even sir, going back to the Century and Ultratech deal also. Not that is not made in favor of all stakeholders, especially the retail stakeholders. So,
Mr. Ravi Kumar, in fact,
give the feedback. So this has to go to Mr. Birla level. So now we are seeing how Idea and Vodafone is suffering. So we have to take care of every stakeholder, sir. Whether it is retail investor or customer.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Kumar.
No, Mr. Ravi Kumar, I would like to take this question. I hope you are online. Mr. Ravi Kumar?
Yes, sir, I'm online.
Okay, thank you. I believe you are talking about when we were in the ready-made garments business of our clothing of Century Cotton by Century.
As a group, I have little bit of, kind of, question marks.
No, that's not true. At that time, that's why the reason we have closed down that business, because our focus was not on the ready-made garment. Being a fabric manufacturer, it was difficult to sustain that business. So we have closed down at least 7-8 years back. Now we are focusing on fabric as well as the home textile business. Home textile we are manufacturing in Berliner, which we are exporting to all big brands in the USA, just like Macy's, Costco, and Donaker and DKNY. All big brands they are going, and quality is excellent, and they are very happy about it, and we are getting repeat orders. So as for home textile business, we are not selling in India, but it is totally entirely on export business. As far as fabric is there, we are manufacturing excellent quality, and which we are supplying to all the big brands in the India who are converting in the garments, and then they are selling it in both domestic and overseas market. But I believe your experience is from our ready-made business that we have closed down few years back. As I said, our focus was not there in that business because of being fabric manufacturer. But still, I will take your point. We will look into it, and wherever any necessary measures are required, we will take it certainly, because we cannot let down the Century brand name. Rest assured.
Mr. Ravi Kumar, I suggest that we've taken a lot of time, and there are other guys who are also wanting to ask questions. We can take this offline separately whenever you feel like. You can give us a call.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone wishing to ask a question, may please press star and 1. Participants in the conference, if you wish to ask a question, you may please press star and 1. As there are no further questions, I now hand the conference over to Mr. J.C. Ladda from Century Textiles and Industries Limited for his closing comments.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thank you all for participating in this earnings con call. As this quarter has been the best among the last 6 quarters, I'm confident that coming quarters will be even better and will not get impacted by COVID-19 challenges. I hope we have been able to answer your questions satisfactorily. If you have any further questions or would like to know more about the company, we would be happy to be of assistance. We are very thankful to all our investors who stood by us and also had the confidence in the company's growth plans. And with this, I wish everyone a great evening. Take care. Stay safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Century Textiles and Industries Limited, that concludes this conference call. We thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.